SyncHub's offering is simple. We pull raw data from your cloud services, like HubSpot or Monday.com, and we store it in a relational database for your needs. To do this effectively, SyncHub needs to be able to detect and efficiently download data as it is modified by your cloud service. Data accessibility seems simple on the surface, but is in fact packed with nuance and technical challenges. So in this video series, we're diving into the 9 most important features that our technical team considers when connecting to a new cloud service. These considerations are something we call the Data Accessibility Checklist. If you are authoring your own API, we encourage you to keep these in mind during development in order to ensure your data is accessible to your users. So, with that in mind, let's move on to our first video, Date Modification Filters. Extracting data can be broken down into 2 main functions: backdating historical data, and then keeping it up to date in real time. Datasets are generally too large to simply request the whole lot every time we want to update our local copy, so we must request smaller chunks. The best way to break up a large dataset is with date modification filters, which allow you to request records that have been modified after a from date and before an until date. Using the modified date of a record, rather than, say, the created date or invoiced date, is important as it lets us use the same mechanism to detect new records as well as any subsequent changes that might be made to it in the future. So how do we do this? Well, there are 2 classes of date modification filters: modified since filters and modified between filters. Modified since filters will generally use the if modified since header and is great for real-time data, but can struggle when doing an initial download of historical data, as the payload sizes can be massive. So, we recommend providing both a from and until filter, which lets us break the data down into smaller chunks. This puts far less stress on the servers, and as a bonus, if a request fails, we just need to re-request a small amount of data, instead of the whole lot. Generally, we might request 24 hours worth of data at a time, though for datasets with a larger amount of data, we might choose a smaller date range to make each request a more manageable size, or even adjust the date range based on the time of day if the data has consistent spikes. This has been an overview of date modification filters, the first point on our data accessibility checklist. For more info, check out the link to our blog post in the video description, and join us next time as we dive into paging.